Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another Magic the Gathering Arena video. Today we are defending our position in the Platinum ranking. For that we are using a mono white soldiers deck, and I think that my deck version is doing a few things different from other deck types. I will quickly check because I was interested in another land, but apparently I don't have any of those copies. You will also recognize that in my deck version I don't run certain amount of certain cards in the recommended amount. I simply don't have 4 Brutal Cathar, for example, or 4 Wandering Emperor. So this is more of a budget version with what I have. And there are some honorable mentions that I want to make. One, definitely the Gavany Dawn Guard. It's a card that generates a lot of value. And with a few flash creatures in here, it is actually kind of easy for us to turn it to nighttime by simply passing the turn. And yeah, the value that you can see from this card definitely gets generated. Another honorable mention is the Rescue Retriever, not only because it's a doggo, it is also a soldier, and in addition to that, you can set up some pretty cool trades with this card because of the additional +1/+1 counters on each other soldier, and because of the fact that all attacking soldiers get prevented from the damage that they are taking. That's pretty cool. And aside from that, I think that, yeah, as I was saying, Gavany Dawn Guard is definitely an honorable mention that not all of the standard decks are running. And Rescue Retriever, I'm still trying to figure out how many copies I want to play. But aside from that, I am pretty well set up. About the Gavany Dawn Guard, we still have I have one copy of the Cemetery Protector. Also a cool creature that helps you with all of the graveyard shenanigans that especially mono blue decks or mono black decks often synergize with. And so Cemetery Protector is also a cool card in synergy with the Gavany Dawn Guard and handling those decks that have synergies with their graveyard. And aside from that, also Sun Gold Sentinel, a pretty good card in this deck and also in the current meta because of the exile on ETB and on attack. And yeah, overall, most of the other cards are probably known to you guys that play Magic the Gathering. And yeah, then I would say let's jump into some games. Okay, this hand looks pretty good. We are on the draw. We have a turn 2, turn 3 play, and also a turn 1 play, depending on what our opponent does. Probably Kumano. Oh no, an Epicure. Okay. Against an Epicure, I am fine keeping my laydown arms because I know that there are bigger threats in mono red than a Voldayon Epicure. Reckless Impulse. Kumano and play with fire, alright. If our opponent has a land, he can still kill our Thalia next turn and play the Kumano. But still a lot of resources would be gone, so I'm fine playing her. Okay, our opponent has the land. I will most likely kill Thalia and then play Kumano. But we took some nice tempo out of the Reckless Impulse play. We will now follow up with Adeline, who is still a 1/4 for herself and 4 toughness. I mean, there are cards in mono red that handle Adeline or 4 toughness, but our opponent also needs to have this card. They are incentivized to play a creature because of the second chapter from Kumano. Okay, Lightning Strike. And another burn spell. I am totally fine with that. They invested 2 cards and didn't get anything from the second chapter. So that was a good trade for us here. And now we will just develop our board here. If I remember correctly, there's nothing to be afraid of when it... Oh, there is the Bloodthirsty Adversary, so I wanna take the Lightning Strike as it's one of the most valuable cards for them. They can do that with 5 mana, so they are still a bit far away from that. But we gotta keep that in mind. I will probably try to burn down the Guardian of Nubenalia now. Okay, another Reckless Impulse. And the Festivities and Mishra's Foundry. Okay. We might see a burn spell now on the Benalia because we can give her Indestructible. That's super good against Mono Red, but we still have to tap her. And yeah. Phoenix Chick. That is definitely a target for our laydown arms. Will we see an attack here? They should, at least with the Phoenix Chick, because it cannot block anyways. Okay. So they have no burn spell. I'm totally fine pitching one of my planes to kill the etching here. Yeah, because with Mishra's Foundry, with colorless mana, they cannot have any burn spell. Totally worth. I think that I want to keep one planes to make my Guardian of Nubenalia indestructible. We wanna deploy Adeline before we attack to get another token out of that. And now we will attack with the Sentinel. Our opponent is probably going to crack the blood token, but what do we want to get rid of? If they have the Bloodthirsty Adversary, I want to get rid of the Reckless Impulse. I want to decrease their card advantage that they can generate. One down. Okay, no blocks. And we will take out the Phoenix Chick. We cannot handle flyers that well in Mono White Soldiers, but lay down arms definitely helps. Also because the Phoenix Chick now cannot come back from the graveyard if 3 creatures would attack. So currently we're at a good spot, and as expected they are cracking the blood token, discarding an Epicure. Okay, one Festivity. Do they have another one? Epicure, okay. Cracking the blood token. Another Phoenix Chick, okay. Defiler. I don't think that our opponent has that many burn spells left, so we will... Also because the Defiler of Faith has Vigilance, I am fine. Well, we can definitely increase the pressure here, and I want to keep exiling our opponent's graveyard, so... Yeah, they have 2 Epicures, I will just attack with these 2. We will take the other Reckless Impulse. Our opponent is down to 1 card in hand, so we need to deny the card advantage if they draw the Epicure. And then, yeah. We cannot give our Guardian of Nubenalia indestructible now, but we also have a 5-5 and a 5-4, and both have Vigilance, so we are at a good spot. Another Phoenix Chick, so there is definitely a race going on. But our opponent sees the writing on the wall. Yeah, super dope. Cool match against Mono Red. We are on the draw, we have plays for the first 3 turns, this looks like a good hand. Blue so far, okay. So we see a Consider here. No Consider, alright. Nothing yet. Sun Gold Sentinel, definitely one of our better cards, so we want to counter into... first want to run out our Guardian of Nubenalia, so this one gets countered. As we wanna make sure that the Sun Gold Sentinel definitely lands on the field, so we can exile stuff from our opponent's graveyard. I would love to see a Jhin now. Jhin would be perfect. But Jhin not coming down. We'll try to resolve the Dawn Guard next. This one resolved, probably a Fading Hope coming in. Yep, alright. Two instant spells in our opponent's graveyard. There's the Djinn, alright. If we could resolve my Rel, that would be super dope. I'll try to exile the Djinn now. If they have the spell pierce, so be it. Okay, they have the negate. This is a problem. Discarding 2 islands. They found another one. So I do have to expect another counterspell here. Valiant Veteran is a perfect bait into it. That resolved smoothly. So we will offer the trade here for the Dawn Guard. Okay, they take it. Now we can decrease their graveyard. And we will start off with... yeah, as long as we are taking instances, we're good to go. They still have enough to play Tolarian Terror here. Another Djinn, okay. Lay down arms, that's perfect. So we will try to resolve my Rel here, and that resolves. So now they cannot counter our spells anymore. We will take out the Djinn. During your turn, your opponents can't cast spells or activate abilities of artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Perfect. We will take Fading Hope. Pump our Sentinel. Opponent has 6 islands, a discount of 2. They can resolve the Terror, but they cannot, because they don't have it. Perfect. Great match. Okay, this hand looks pretty dope. We are on the draw. We have to do stuff to do for every turn, except the first one because our opponent didn't play a creature. Rakdos matchup so far, okay. Tap land out of the way. I don't think that there are that many... No, okay, now we are talking Mardu. I don't think that there are that many graveyard shenanigans, so we will just play the Sentinel and see what happens. Probably a Voltage Search here or Cut Down. Yeah, there's Cut Down. Wedding Announcement. That will definitely annoy us in the long run. Sadly, Adeline, on her own, is always in Cut Down range, which is a horrible trait for us. But we also might see another interaction from our opponent. Okay, a March pitching an Archangel of Wrath. Okay. Another token. So we are down to 4. We can ambush the 1/1 tokens with the Wandering Emperor. The thing is, they will be able to attack with 2 tokens. And then they will draw off Wedding Announcement, which I really don't want. So we will just play Brutal Cathar and exile one of the tokens, so they don't get the card draw except they play a haste creature now. Perfect. That is what we wanted. Definitely keep in mind, if you're on the backside of the Brutal Cathar, he ain't a soldier anymore. That is relevant for a few cards. And we do have First Strike. So I will just go in for the attack. If our opponent double blocks, we will go with the Wandering Emperor. We could double spell to flip something back, which could be dope. And exile 1 more token. Our opponent is land screwed, so I do want to increase the pressure here. We will just Lay down arms one of the tokens. We will play another spell, so it will flip back to daytime. We will exile the token. Perfect. Our opponent found the land. Let's see if they have any interaction for us. Okay, it flips back. Pre-combat, we want to deploy Adeline to generate another token. Our opponent might have some instant speed interaction. We will go to attacks. Make another token. Our opponent has the Emperor Rondo. Okay. They will have to pay. And our token. So our opponent had a bad timing there. They could have played it better, so our token would have been declared on their face first, and then they could have exiled the Brudokafar and still would have stayed with the Wandering Emperor itself. Now by that they gave a bit away. I wanna optimize my threats here. Especially vigilant creatures are important when our opponent is running the Wandering Emperor. Let's see. If they have double red, we need to be afraid of the burn down the house. Okay. Archangel with no kicker. So we will plus on Adeline.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Gotta keep in mind that I do run the Retriever. But as I was saying, Adeline ain't a knight. It will block the token. We will still get in for 6. And see how our opponent does. Yeah, multiple copies of Brudokafar would be super dope in this deck. Okay, another one. Attacking the Wandering Emperor. We are lacking a bit on soldiers on board and we cannot do anything to defend against that. I do still want to... Though every damage gets prevented, we can also do it next turn on the attack. But our opponent heals again for 4. So we do struggle here. Guardian of Nubenalia, alright. Pump up Adeline. I personally would have blocked the Jotun frontliner. We could flash in our Retriever now. But for no purpose actually. Yeah, the token generation from Adeline is now definitely a downside for us. And I want to bring down Guardian first. A burn down the house would be great. Destroying all creatures, but they won't do that. They have 8 in the air with lifelink. Drag to the bottom for 1. Where X is 1 plus the number of numbers, so it's for 1. Okay. This definitely shrinks down Adeline. Not good. They are holding back, okay. Lay down arms, perfect draw here. Getting rid of one of those guys. We cannot unearth and still keep up the Retriever. What we can do is... I don't want to tap Adeline for the Enlist. because of another Wandering Emperor that might be coming. And I want to force my opponent to finally block Adeline, but they will never do that, as we are still out of range for them to kill her. Well, we netted 1 damage. Let's see if they found a removal spell. It looks like it. Okay, invoke Spare. That hurts. Too good we kept the token back all the time. Opponent passes. This is huge. Let's increase the pressure here. This is 10. So we are 1 off. And we can still make our Guardian indestructible. So our opponent needs to burn down the house, but they have so many pain lands, it would kill themselves. Yep, that's the downside when you run. Well, they have 1, 2. There's the Emperor. Yeah, that's it. GG. If they don't have any other interaction. They need to exile the Guardian now and have another interaction for Adeline. They need to go for the throat to survive here. They used a cut down on the token. We did find the laydown arms and our opponent concedes. Nice. Super dope match. Interesting to see all of the different lands, and the drag to the bottom was interesting. But then you can also run Malicious Malfunction, I think it's called. It's better against token decks and way more consistent. Overall, super dope. I hope you enjoyed these matches from my soldier deck. Still optimizing, still missing a lot of cards, you know how it is. But yeah, overall, I hope you enjoyed it, and then I would say see you in the next video. Goodbye, guys.